Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6.
Thanks for joining us here this evening. I'm Jordan Smith. It was a windy day today, but we haven't seen the last of it quite yet. Meteorologist Matt Gray is how long this wind and rain will be sticking around.
Well, the rain is largely beginning to move out of Spokane and Coeur d'Alene already this afternoon. And in fact, we saw even just a little bit of sun try to peek below the clouds before the sunset tonight. And so overall, it's still windy, but we're setting up for what looks like to be a decent evening around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. The winds are still blowing pretty good, though, tonight. We have gusts solidly in the 40s. Look at Pullman. Gusts recently at about 44 miles an hour. Haven't seen too many of those gusts get up into the 50, 55 mile an hour range, which is what we were a little more concerned about. But hey, still, it's pretty windy out there. You'll certainly notice it as you go about your evening. Still think we have a few more hours where we could see those wind gusts get close to that 50 to 55 mile an hour range. And then I'm only saying that because we do have a cold front that's still tracking our way for later on this evening. Wind advisories will go into the early hours of Monday morning. And then there is the rain. Now, the rain's largely moved off. We only got little spritzes in Spokane. We saw some heavier rain in Coeur d'Alene today. On the Palouse, it has been raining throughout the majority of the day. And it has been snowing up in the mountains, but you really got to zoom in to see it. The snow level's been fairly high today, but it has been snowing off and on right here on Lookout Pass. Meanwhile, just down the hill in Wallace and Mullen, it's been raining. So snow levels are kind of high, but they will be dropping as we head through the night, and things are going to get much more interesting heading into tomorrow as you see a big cool off and a chance for a few snow showers. In fact, we could see some show up in parts of the inland Northwest and some of our lowlands later tonight. I'll show you where coming up.
All right, Matt, thanks for that. On Monday, the U.S. Supreme Court is set to hear 2 cases that will consider the future of social media. Our Hunter Bertram spoke with community members looking to protect our kids online.
On Monday, the U.S. Supreme Court will consider arguments on whether to give Texas and Florida more control over social media platforms and their content. The cases will decide whether social media platforms should be able to censor and remove content on the sites. Some are concerned that harmful content will run rampant online. On Friday, Spokane Public Schools held an informational night to help parents protect their kids.
So social media is one of the things we have to be very aware and have parents looking at, watching, see what's happening.
Linda Thompson tells me what's happening is bad decisions coming from bad influence online.
When actually there's a real danger and not making a good decision about what you're watching and what they're really thinking they could do as well.
Christy Peterson is a 9th grade guidance counselor at Shadle Park High School.
And so a lot of times I think kids don't realize like what they put on there, it's on there, it's not going to go away and they can't erase it.
Which is why Spokane Public Schools thought a social media awareness night would benefit the community. However, not many parents showed up, organizers saying it's unfortunate because parents want help but won't come when provided.
Our schools are so supportive of youth and open door policy to come in and talk. Parents can ask for help. There is no shame in asking for help. This is an epidemic for our young people of the social media and the influences that has on our kids.
A few tips I was told by those working to protect our kids online all boil down to being honest and having conversations. Linda Thompson saying prevention does work. Reporting in Spokane, Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
The Spokane Home and Yard Show wrapped up today, marking the end of its 46th annual show. Thousands of people took to the aisles of the Spokane Fair and Expo Center over the 4-day event to check out all the things home and garden related. There was even a giant statue of Bigfoot. The organizers tell us that many came by just to enjoy a glimpse of spring.
One of our taglines is spring arrives early inside the Spokane Fair and Expo Center. So it's no wonder that so many people were ready for it and wanting to come out and see the greenery and the flowers and waterfalls and just get ready for spring.
Organizers also said that in less than 3 days, the center will be flipped and transformed for Custer Show's 47th annual Spring Arts and Crafts Show coming up later this week. For information and tickets and what you will see ahead this week, you can head to our website, kxly.com. Next week, hundreds of talented high school track and field athletes will be competing at the podium right across the street from our studio. Spokane Sports will be hosting the STCU West Coast Championship for the 2nd year in a row. They are anticipating over 600 athletes from across the West Coast. This will be the last indoor track and field meet for the season, concluding the largest season Spokane has hosted in the 3 years since the podium opened. To buy tickets or learn more information, you can head to our website, kxly.com. The increase of opioid overdoses and deaths in the street of Spokane is threatening our community. There are many different illicit drugs available, and if combined, they can prove to be lethal. Under a statewide program, the local organization Compassionate Addiction Treatment has been testing small drug samples, and collecting the data to learn what drugs are on the streets. Bobby Lee Moskaloff with Compassionate Addiction Treatment is managing the program. 6 years ago, Moskaloff says that she was out on the streets herself, struggling with drug addiction. She says she understands how dangerous these drugs are and wants to save people's lives.
So with something like this, I can test people's drugs and maybe I'll find something that's new, and that nobody's seen before, and we can let people know about it.
The University of Washington Addictions, Drug and Alcohol Institute will compile the results, which will then be available on its website. And anyone can stop by the center and get drugs tested at no charge. Taking a look nationally now, Congress has until Friday to pass a funding deal and avoid a partial government shutdown. CNN correspondent Jen Sullivan will take a look at what it will take to avoid a partial shutdown and what Republicans and Democrats want to see in a spending deal.
Time is running out for Congress to pass a spending bill and avoid a partial government shutdown. Lawmakers have until midnight Friday to pass a deal. One of the major issues under debate is $118 billion in aid for Ukraine. It's something many Democrats and Republicans are pushing for.
Not only the future of Ukraine is on the line, which is extremely important, but the larger battle against authoritarianism is on the line.
Ukraine will not fail under our watch. There's too much at stake here. This is not just about Ukraine. This is about freedom versus dictatorships. This is about truth versus propaganda.
This will be the fourth time since September that lawmakers have been up against a funding deadline. Lawmakers keep passing short-term stopgap deals. In January, they extended some funding for Veterans Affairs, Agriculture, and Housing and Urban Development through March 1st. Funding for the rest of the government expires March 8th. Many Republicans don't want to pass a spending plan until they see changes in immigration and border security.
You either secure the border or you get no money for the government.
But now some right-wing conservative Republicans want to halt border changes. Their critics are accusing them of not taking action to help their chances of winning the White House in November.
That is not good for America. They know that, and they are putting Trump and Trump's personal interests ahead of the good of our country.
I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Well, there's still much more ahead here on 4 News Now at 6 o'clock. You won't want to miss this week's Air Force adventure. We're taking you high above some of the water towers throughout the Spokane area. Plus, a consumer alert tonight that could put some money back in your pocket. Coming up.
And it's going to be a lot chillier tomorrow. No 50s, no 60s. A lot of places won't even get into the 40s like Spokane. We'll also have a chance to see a few snow showers whip their way across the area. So, yeah, things are going to be a little different than this weekend. As we start off the week, your forecast after this.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
4 News Now is brought to you by the YWCA Women of Achievement Luncheon, March 15th.
Satay Bistro, Coeur d'Alene's culinary extravaganza of American fusion dining. From our extensive wine cellar to our unforgettably decadent menu, we'll move your experience beyond ordinary to the extraordinary. Satay Bistro, just off the 4th Street exit in Coeur d'Alene.
When you have moderate to severe eczema, it's okay to show off. With Dupixent, show off your clearer skin and less itch, because you have plenty of reasons to show off your skin. With Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists, you can stay ahead of your eczema. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema to help heal your skin from within. Many adults saw 90% clearer skin. Some even achieved long-lasting clearer skin and fast itch relief after first dose. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Show off to the world. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
It's time to get up, get out, and get in a new Honda during Coeur d'Alene Honda's Way to Save event. Coeur d'Alene Honda has your vehicle now in stock with special rates as low as 0% and cash allowances up to $2,300. Specials on all hybrids. Every new Honda and select pre-owned comes with our nationwide lifetime warranty at no extra cost. Appraisers on hand paying 110% of KBB fair trade value. So get up, get in, and save now at Coeur d'Alene Honda's Way to Save event.
Get it clean you can see with the Maytag Pet Pro Top Load Washer.
Save over 37% on a Maytag top load set on sale at Fred's for only $7.49 each.
The washer removes 5 times more pet hair with a Pet Pro filter. It also has a deep fill option to soak away your biggest messes.
This Maytag set is only $7.49 each. That's over a 37% savings.
Fred's is your go-to destination for the best value in laundry sets.
Satay Bistro, Coeur d'Alene's culinary extravaganza of American fusion dining. From our extensive wine cellar to our unforgettably decadent menu, we'll move your experience beyond ordinary to the extraordinary. Satay Bistro, just off the 4th Street exit in Coeur d'Alene.
4 News Now is brought to you by Inland Imaging.
Well, here's a look at Riverfront Park earlier today. You can see those heavy winds whipping through the area that tore this banner. And it was a little gusty today. That didn't deter families from enjoying the day downtown. But that wind has not really let up. You saw it in the sky cam as we went to break there. That was just shaking our camera all over the place. That wasn't just your TV. It was really weird.
No, it is the wind. It is the wind shaking the camera around. Hey, we've had many worse windy days, but certainly it was noticeable today. And you'll notice the wind a little bit tomorrow, but overall, the story about tonight is going to be those winds slowly fading away. We're going to be turning now to something that is that we've talked about as well throughout the weekend, which is snow and much cooler weather that could lead to a little bit of valley snow. So let's take a look at what's happening on the passes right now. At 5 o'clock, we showed you this view, and I tell you what, there was a lot less snow on the road on Stevens Pass. So our snow levels, which were right around that 5,000 foot mark, and so even Lookout Pass, even Stevens Pass, we're seeing a little bit of melting snow once they made contact with the road. That is beginning to end tonight, and so we'll see deteriorating conditions on Stevens, on Lookout, on Snoqualmie, and we'll even see some snow make it down to 4th of July Pass at around 3,000 feet, I believe, before we get to the end of the night. And if not, then we'll have another chance for tomorrow morning. And so especially for Stevens Pass and for Lookout Pass, we still have plenty of snow to go here before that winter storm warning expires at around lunchtime tomorrow. So if you're headed up to the mountains, maybe take advantage of some of the fresh snow today. Just keep in mind that those driving conditions will change very quickly once you get up in higher elevation. Now, our rain snow line is going to drop all the way down to the valley floors tonight. It will go back up again a lot on Wednesday, and then we'll sink back down for the weekend. And so that means lots of ups and downs in our weather, lots of changes back and forth from rain to snow, back to snow again, all of this sort of funky stuff that's going to happen here as we end February and head into March. Here is what I expect later on tonight. As this front comes in, there still is going to be a chance for maybe 1 or 2 little sprinkles and showers around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. But I think for the most part, we're largely done with the wet weather for now. We'll keep an eye on, though, places like the Silver Valley and the Palouse later tonight for some of that rain that's happening there now to potentially flip over to snow well after midnight. And we can even see a little bit of accumulation around Pullman and Moscow. Snow still up in the mountains as we wake up on Monday morning. Calm otherwise. And then afternoon snow showers, so rapidly changing road conditions, especially across many parts of North Idaho for the second half of the day. Overall, we're not talking about a lot of snow here. An inch or 2 perhaps in the Silver Valley, an inch or 2 around Pullman and Moscow. Elsewhere, don't expect a whole lot, but it certainly, at least for a few minutes or more, could feel and look a little bit wintry, more wintry than it has here in a little while. Lows tonight will be in the upper 20s and low 30s, and will be only in the upper 30s and in the Central Basin low 40s, which is about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than we've been, many of us, through the weekend. Omak hit 62 today. What a record that is for this early in the season. We have another round of cool air that's going to be rolling in by the time we get to the end of the week and the weekend. That'll actually warm us up there for the middle of the week, but once we get past, say, Thursday and into next weekend, we are back into chilly times, and we will see a result of, at least for Saturday, a decent chance for some accumulating snow. We may see some light accumulations as well Wednesday morning. By the time we get to Thursday and our leap day, it is all rain as we end February and start March, Jordan.
Well, whenever we turn on the faucet in our kitchens, showers, and bathrooms, we rarely think about how it gets there. In this week's Air 4 Adventure, we're taking you high above the water towers throughout the Spokane area. So sit back, relax, and let's go for a ride on the Air 4 drone.
There's multiple different companies that serve water in the valley. I think there's 13 in Spokane County's water districts. Either on legs or on a hill, it's something just to lift the water up to where it needs to be to establish that pressure. We store it so that we can use it at a later date. We have 7 million gallons of water that we can call on at a moment's notice to use for fire flow or if we had other really high peak uses. The pump house, like is behind us here, where that pumps the water out of the aquifer into our system. And then there's booster stations we have that boost it up hillsides. And then the reservoirs that we were talking about earlier, where we store the water. This well is only 100 feet deep to the top of the aquifer, and we only dug down into it because it's hand dug. We only dug down into 8 or 10 feet. Functionally, the 4 million gallon reservoir at the end of 16th, it's big, it's ugly, it's flat. It stores 4 million gallons of water and could serve the whole system for several days, all on its own if the power went out. You know, the aquifer is so big, so clean, so good. It's an amazing thing, and we need to do all we can to protect its quality and use its quantity wisely.
A really cool Air 4 adventure there. A consumer alert tonight for AT&T customers. AT&T is reimbursing its customers for Thursday's network outage. Tens of thousands of customers last Thursday dealt with error messages or no service connection. The mobile network says that it wanted to recognize the frustration the outage caused people and will issue a $5 credit to potentially impacted wireless customers. This is to cover the average cost of a full day of service. The Federal Communications Commission says it is investigating this incident. Credit card debt in the U.S. is surging. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says credit card debt hit a new high of $1.1 trillion from October through December. But some economists say the debt level is not as alarming as it might seem. Economists say after adjusting for inflation, the current level is nearly 20% below a peak that it reached in late 2008. Well, we had another jam-packed weekend of college basketball and no tournament bids to give out quite yet.
No, we got 3 weeks until Selection Sunday, but many of the teams in our region still vying for spots in the field of 68. Coming up in sports, we're going to break it all down for you and show you how one local Spokane standout said goodbye to the home crowd one last time.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Stay ahead of your moderate to severe eczema and show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
$1 million markdown on now at the Tin Roof. They need to make room for new items, so hundreds of items are on sale, some at or below cost. This is the biggest markdown sale they've ever had. Shop now for once-in-a-lifetime deals.
Like most backseat drivers, I'm all about safety. Uh-oh!
Les Schwab fixes brakes, steering, and more.
Stop in for our Founders Celebration Sale and save up to $150 on select sets of Ford tires.
For a limited time, Pape Machinery is blowing out select model year 2023 inventory at dealer cost. Pick up a brand new John Deere compact tractor for a fraction of the original price. Stop by Pape Machinery Ag and Turf today to get started.
How does free college or training sound? It's possible. Washington College Grant gives eligible people money for certificate programs, job training, apprenticeships, or college. Learn more at wagrant.org. That's wagrant.org.
As winter's chill settles in, don't let the cold inside your home. Upgrade your home with energy-efficient windows, designed not just for style, but to keep your warmth in and the winter out. Call today to get buy two, get two windows free and 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until 2025. With a variety of styles and colors, our windows are more than an upgrade, they're a statement. So call now for your free in-home estimate. Transform your space this winter with your home improvement company, where it's your home made better.
He was a university high school freshman who needed extra attention, but the person hired to help him violated him instead. Where is that paraeducator now? How much did the school have to pay? And why wasn't this case enough to stop it from happening again? Watch Thursday, only on 4 News Now at 6.
Oh, with only a few games left in the regular season, the Washington State Cougars still have an outside shot at making the NCAA tournament. But in order to do so, they've got to start stringing together some wins, and that begins with Oregon this afternoon on Senior Day. Let's get to it. Halfway through the first quarter, we have a low-scoring affair, but Beyonce B rattles this one home. She finishes with 10 points on the day. In the second, we're all tied up at 14 apiece. Eleanor Avila with a drive to the basket. Some nice touch on this floater to give the Cougs the lead. But the day belonged to sophomore guard Astira Tahina. She'll get a little separation here, knock down the three. That's the first one all game long for Washington State. Less than a minute later, it's going to be Tahina taking it in herself. Gets the shot to go down. That forces Oregon to take the timeout. Wazoo goes into the break up by 5. Out of halftime, it was a lot of the same as Tahina gets a nice block here from Belamur Katete, hits the three. She finishes with a game and career-high 24 points as Washington State gets the 71-61 win and keeps them in the NCAA tournament conversation for at least another week.
You know, it feels good. I think AT's been on the verge. She's had good practices. She's getting a little bit more into a routine of practicing. This looks like the old AT or maybe the improved AT, but the healthy, I think that's the point. She's healthy and she's getting her legs back under her, so really great floor game.
Now, as for the Cougar men, all good things, they come to an end as they saw their 8-game winning streak snap last night down in Tempe, Arizona. While we've seen the Washington State offense explode in recent weeks, it was just non-existent as the Cougs only shot less than 40% from the field, and they were just 3 of 18 from three-point range. When you combine that with Arizona State seemingly not being able to miss for large chunks of the game, that's not exactly a recipe for victory.
You know, it was humbling there. You know, if we're not, we had a great game Thursday, and you got to move on to the next, and they played well.
Cougs will now return home for the final 3 games of the regular season. First up is going to be USC on Thursday evening. Even with the loss against Arizona State last night, Wazoo still in the driver's seat for the Pac-12 championship. And on Saturday evening, the Gonzaga Bulldogs played their final game at home this season as they were able to extract some revenge over Santa Clara and stay in the hunt for the WCC championship. And unlike other senior years in the past, the honor only went to one. Anton Watson has been a staple within the Spokane basketball community for nearly a decade now, playing his high school hoops over at Gonzaga Prep as he graduated from a bullpup to a bulldog. And during the last 5 years at GU, we've seen him go from a role player off the bench to one of the most impactful starting forwards in recent memory. Now, even though he's still got a few more games in a Bulldogs uniform, Spokane is always going to be a place where he calls home.
I've been in Spokane forever, it feels like, but this really is my home, and everyone treats me like it's their home, and you know, it's just a whole big family, it feels like. So yeah, it's gonna be hard to leave, but I'm excited for that next step.
And he just impacts games in just so many different ways. Those steals off the ball, on post feeds, you know, breaking presses and everything. It's It's amazing. You know, he's not a one-trick pony. He does everything really, really, really well. And it's getting more and more rare to find players like that, quite frankly.
Now, Watson and the Bulldogs will wrap up their regular season with a trip out to the Bay Area where they're going to take on San Francisco Thursday night and then a rematch against St. Mary's on Saturday. Both would be Quad 1 wins, huge for the Zags' resume. 4 News Now, we'll be right back.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Sunday Night Sports on 4 News Now is brought to you by Coeur d'Alene Casino.
On the hunt for your next ride? Come to Valley VIP Auto Sales with a wide variety of cars and trucks. We're here to help you find the perfect vehicle. You won't find a better deal anywhere else. Come find your next vehicle at Valley VIP.
My name is Steven, and this is my Summit Cancer Center story. I had a large tumor in my left lung in November of 2018. We went through in 2020 doing a lot of end-of-life planning. Summit was very aggressive in my treatment of diagnosis. Since then, with my recovery, we're doing a lot of life events. I love the people there. I would recommend Summit Cancer Center. My wife calls it a miracle.
My late father-in-law lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had AMD. I didn't know it then, but it can progress to GA, an advanced form of the disease. His struggle with vision loss from AMD made me want to help you see warning signs of GA, like hazy or blurred vision, so it's hard to see fine details. Colors that appear dull or washed out. Or trouble with low light. That makes driving at night a real challenge. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 32 miles per gallon. Plus, 97% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you.
Drive with 1.9% financing during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at AutoNation Subaru.
It's that time of year to book your roofing project now, before the spring rush hits at McVeigh Brothers Roofing, Siding, and Windows. And when you purchase a new CertainTeed roof today, you'll get a 5-star lifetime material and labor warranty upgrade for free.
On the hunt for your next ride? Come to Valley VIP Auto Sales with a wide variety of cars and trucks. We're here to help you find the perfect vehicle. You won't find a better deal anywhere else. Come find your next vehicle at Valley VIP.
All right, so we start the week with a little chance for some snow, but it's the best kind of snow, which is light and moves on quickly.
That's my favorite kind.
We get into Wednesday, Thursday, looks pretty messy, and we have another chance of snow by the time we get to next weekend. Hey, what are you guys doing for your leap day? Only happens once every 4 years.
Oh, I don't know. Do we buy chocolate? That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app. See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.